I'd say now is as good a time as ever. Am I here? I'm here. Welcome back, everybody. Today it is 8 o'clock on the 10th of November. Today would be a Monday, starting the week as we mean to go on. This is most likely episode 294 of Latent Space Live with me, Drift Johnson. This is Scuffed Epoch. We're going to be taking a look at a bunch of stuff tonight. Mostly it's going to be ComfyUI local API. Harness the power of your local GPU and stop paying for all those image generation services, but still use them with your web service or app. Okay. We're also going to take a look at my new, my latest app, which is called ComfyUI Yesterday. It's in its initial release, so there's probably some bugs, but we're going to work them out. Wait a minute, did I just teleport? Okay, we're going to have to fix that. But yeah, don't forget, if you're watching live or if you're watching later, all of the links are in the description. You can join us on Discord. We're often in the group doing live stream before and after of dev sessions and discussions. So feel free to come in and share your work and, just generally have a good time. Loads of stuff, people joining, sharing images and video. So you can always take part in that if you're not a talker. And that's pretty much it. So let's say hello to everybody in the chat. So we've got Fernicar is here for hello Fernicar. Battle Cruiser operational. Like and subscribe. Now where were we? Galleon Studio is here. Yo, what's up? And he gives us a donation, $5 for the coffee. Thank you very much. I'm drinking it now. Consider it drunk. Coffees are expensive nowadays. They are. They really are. But your donation goes a long way. In fact, did you know that $5 will get me 10 coffees? That's not bad. It's good value for I give good value for money. Full Dive Media's here. Man, how are you doing today? I'm doing great. I'm also teleporting around. Do you know what? I'm going to sit down because we've got an experimental setup right here. And it always looks better when you sit down. It's a feature, they said. There we go. It'll be better when I'm sitting anyway. It was designed for me to be sitting, really. I need to work out the animation. Yeah, the flicker is hurting. Yeah, it's skipping frames because I've forgotten to edit out the walk-on, walk-off part of the loop. I'm going to make it better. Anyway. See, the idea is put in a bit of like cool off and cool on to stop it from jumping so much. I'll probably do that later. Just got to remind me. Anyway, let's just turn this off. We've had enough of Sharona. I broke it trying to make her transparent look. She's now broken. Basically, by trying to give her transparency like the tool I'm using right now, it all went a bit Pete Tong. Right, so if I put it on transparent, look. I got transparent mode, but just not quite how I was looking for it. So yeah, flicker and flicker. So let's just take a break from Sharona. She's done a good job. She's done an excellent job bringing in the show for us the last couple of weeks. But she needs a bit of polish. She was originally supposed to be like a chat to the character in the book, you know? But anyway, so if we just take a quick look at this here. This is obviously the actual app. So if I close it down, right? Oh no! If I close it down, and then actually run it in Electron, right? Which is what it's supposed to run in. Just do run Electron. Oh dear, missing Electron. All right, how about I probably did that one. Let's be fair. Still broken. Missing Electron dev. Crumbs. He's typing the wrong commands. There it is. Yeah, see, that's actually for the... So where's the build? It's such a nightmare, isn't it? He's built it right. Moving on. Moving on. Yesterday, everyone. My mic is too quiet. Let me have a look at how I'm peaking here. No, I'm peaking okay. If anything, I was just maybe a little bit further away. So I don't always eat my microphone. But, yeah, so we're going to do the stuff. That's what we're here for. So, let's get on with it. Anybody else to say hello to? The sitting down is better, yeah. There should be a table in front of me as well, but maybe we'll add that in a bit. So, there should be another Windows. Did this thing die while I was sleeping? I think it died while I was sleeping, guys. I don't know though. It's still running. It does seem like I lost tab somewhere. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll just start from scratch. It's fine. Isn't that weird? Look at that. There's a black screen around my Comfy. It's very weird. The grid isn't working. Hang on, I'm just going to refresh. Something's weird. So what we're going to do is we're going to build some Comfy API workflows that run on our workflow. So our ComfyUI GPU is going to do the generation, right? So what's this? Monster Mesh. Quen image lightning 8-step. Change the sign. This is a Quen image workflow. Yeah, I'm not touching that. Alright, let's get back to my WAN stuff. If I just go and grab one I made earlier. That one is when Test 1 and 2 API. Don't tell me it's got no workflow. Oh, nice. What? Dude. What did it do to my workflow? This isn't my workflow. Wait a minute. What the hell? It's moved everything. What? 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 Hang on a minute. Johnson's learning today. Look at this. Oh, I don't want to open it Windows. It's changed all my API workflows are set out like different. So we've got the alarm, options. This is so funny. We've got the project file path generator for the saving. We've got Clip Vision that's not plugged into anything. We've got the Power LoRa loader with nothing in it. Well, that's no good. Is it possible it wasn't even loading the LoRa's? I mean, that to me looks like it's failed, doesn't it? This is supposed to have Cyber Society in it and a bunch of stuff. What on earth have they done to my workflow? I mean, it's here. It's still working. But it's sort of like... How weird. And there's the new node, by the way. So this is how you would send the images from your workflow directly to your web server. So Cyber Society would be a defined folder on my web server, which has obviously been configured for public, so you can get access to it. I may as well just sort of like shed some light on that before we carry on. So let's see, comfy things. No, not that. Oh, that's what I was looking for. So if I go to gallery.scuffedepoch.com, so gallery.scuffedepoch.com, and you get the automated gallery. So last couple of days we've been working on this. It should be updating every hour, but there's a problem with the automatic update. For some reason the scripts work, but it can't do it. So I'll have to figure out what it is. It's probably a permissions issue for the WW group, data group. Anyway, the way it works is you can, and this is all open sourced as well, so I'm not just like, oh, look at this cool thing. No, you can go ahead and use it. So DJZ Gallery is the website we're looking at, so let's just take a quick skim over that. So that would be a React Vite TypeScript. You export it to web, so obviously you'll get, you know, HTML, CSS, JS when you build for web distribution using Vite. Okay, now if I come down here, it just explains what it is, right? Very basic, but I want to tell you like the business. So obviously you know you install it, you know all of that stuff. So the initial data generation, these are the scripts that are used to update. You'll see. So what you're doing is you're sending images into a folder. So we have a ComfyUI workflow. Every time the workflow runs, it has an SCP node to upload using a user which is already on this server. Okay, so it's all set up and authenticated. It's all safe to do. It will automatically send the generated images up to your server to the predefined path. And then the scripts on this server update the indexes so that any new images get automatically added to the gallery. You see what I mean? So all you have to do is have workflows save images into the right folders, and then they will appear in the right groups. That's how this works. So if I click on that, it's going to open up the main gallery for the whole thing. And then if I click on that, I'm going to get the full image. All right. Okay. Still experimental because we're learning the limitations of what the API nodes can do. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they play fast. That's why we're looking at the workflow at the moment. Because it's obviously stripped my LoRa's out, hasn't it? So it might be that particular node, the Power LoRa loader node, isn't good for use with API because of the way you have to use that button to add them, so it doesn't save it. Just a thought. So then you just go back to a normal LoRa loader instead. So anyway, these are the sorts of things we're going to be looking at. But as you can see, we've got our 6 folders, which are all for different LoRa's that I've trained. Okay. And this obviously is the gallery site. Okay, it's been a bit customized from what's on there, but the idea is they give it out like a template. So you can take this and you can build on top of it. And what it means is that any images that get uploaded to these folders, no matter where they come from, API, local, whatever, maybe you put them there yourself, you can have a cron job update the site every hour, and then it's gonna be up to date. So then what you have is you have your automated gallery, and the way it gets new content is there's a user that is uploading them. In my case, I used the SCP. Now obviously I've decided to release this as ComfyUI nodes. You can go ahead and take them too. So that ComfyUI node is just one Python script at the moment. We'll probably make more, but it's very simple. Again, very simple. Right? You install it in the normal way. You do have to put an env file in the ComfyUI folder, right? And that's going to have your, username and password for your SCP upload. SCP is like FTP but more secure, if you've never heard of it. I should probably have said that in the beginning. Anyway, so you put the authentication in the env file, like I say. Okay, that goes into, there you go, path 2. So in the ComfyUI folder itself, you put that there. And like I said, here it is though. You put your server address, your port, your name. Very simple stuff if you've ever done upload. And then this is the business here. By changing the config.json, that's what defines what each preset in the node is and where it sends it. So it's actually really simple and extendable. You can have as many folders as you want on your server, as many presets as you want, okay? And it's gonna just, every time a workflow runs, upload straight to the server. Every hour server updates itself, new pictures, right? So you understand that side of it. It's really important to do that bit first, because you can understand that you can take any of your workflows and add that, and then it uploads to a gallery site, all right? And it's all open source. I think it looks nice. You can get AI to restyle it, change the colors, do it differently, but the back end is like, it picks up the images. It should update every hour. See, it hasn't updated for like all day. I've got to fix that later. But anyway, if we go back over here, so as I said, you have the save image SCP custom node, which pushes to your web gallery, all right, which obviously you can, this is white label, you can just rebrand it, okay? And then that gives you your automated feed. And these are like 4K images. They're not these little 1024s that you have to pay 3 to 7 cents for. These are 3072 by 3072 square, and you can do any aspect ratio you want because you have full access to your Comfy. You can also do video. It's completely up to you. And what we're going to show you next eliminates the wait time, because the biggest problem with doing everything local is you got to wait. It takes time. We don't have those big cloud GPUs. So what if you made it yesterday? What if you made it yesterday? And that's the next thing we're going to look at. This is DJZ yesterday. So if I just make that a little bit bigger, maybe we'll make the text a bit bigger. Does that work now? It still doesn't work. You've got to do, anyway, whatever. So this is the app. I should probably be zooming out actually, because it's got like, there's a menu I need to change which goes vertically all the way down. It's quite funny. But the point is, this is built off of my you'll recognize it, test workflow. So we had a little app that we released for free, and it just gave you a test workflow button, and it would connect to your API if you had Comfy running and you were using the correct startup flag. It's very simple. You just add a couple of lines. You know how you can put it in low VRAM mode? It's a little bit the same. You add a couple of flags and now it can be an API, right? Which means that this app can talk to it, and then you obviously make your own API workflows. You drop them in here, okay? So let's say I take this Sharona one here and I just execute. And because I made this workflow on this server, it's guaranteed to work, right? I tested it in the Comfy. It works. If I save that as an API workflow, drop it in here and test it, I'll see the result and I'll go, well, that works. So then what we can do is we can add it to the workflow library. Once it's in the workflow library, you can schedule it, and there's a calendar tool. That's all it is. DJZ yesterday is a scheduling wrapper for ComfyUI that uses the API feature so that you can get free image and video generation. And then when you use, like I said, that SCP thing, now you can upload it to your web service or app, whatever that is. So then you got free image generation from a local machine without opening the machine to the internet. Because the alternative is you just open the machine to the internet, right? But to be honest, you can have it set up in a different way so that your public-facing websites have a feature, you know, to receive files over SCP. And that can be done from any machine, so you don't need to open it up to the internet for that. Obviously, when I say open it up to the internet, I mean public hosting, not sending files over, you know, SCP. But it's better than FTP in my opinion. So anyway, it's going to take a while for this image to actually do the thing, because it's going to be a big one. The only thing I had to change with this was that I had to scramble the seed, because when you run an API node, it doesn't do random seed. You're expected to do that yourself programmatically by string replacement or some other method. So what I do is I detect seeds and then scramble them when I run the job. Crawl on Verse said, so is the idea that you're prompting from the website? No, that's the thing. Unlike many other services where they want to sell you images, I don't want to sell you images. I just want to show you new images. Like this is like, for example, my portfolio gallery. So all of the LoRa's that I make, I could set them to generate one image a day, one every 10-20 minutes, and then every hour, I don't know, 20 pictures are going to appear on the gallery across various different LoRa's I've trained. I could have a link to the LoRa, you know, this sort of thing. So it becomes like a fresh AI, fully automated gallery, which is based off of my work, but I don't have to spend any time on it, okay? And it's going to continuously make these images and put them up on the gallery for me. But the idea is that I'm trying to demonstrate that a website doesn't need you to work on it or administer it. You can have agents do that. So this is like the next step. The first step was the news website, which, by the way, is going to be like the first feature of the show every time every time I come on soon. We're slowly getting there. So let me just remind you about that. So Vestig is the first site that I've made, which is an autonomous design. So Vestig is a news site. It covers 6 news articles every day, and it generates an image for the article. Okay, so it's using it was using a multi-agent research and writer pipeline, and then we optimized it down to one call with Grok 4 Fast online. So it's very cheap, like 2.5 cents for each article. But then the image is 1 cent usually, because we use GPT-4 Mini, Image Mini for the image. All right, it's not bad, it's not great, but it only cost 1 cent. The challenge was, how cheap can we make the automation? Okay, and it turned out you can do a page for 3.5 cents. So the budget, we could do 6 on 20 cents a day. All right. Now, there is one big article with a banana every day. It's probably, was it this one? AI litigation. That would be a banana because it's in 21 to 9. So I wanted people to visually be able to tell. Yeah, it looks different every time you come back, exactly. And so the idea is that the fully autonomous site, he goes out and gets his own news on a schedule with a cron. So there's a cron command running a Python script that starts the pipeline. And then that does web-grounded Grok 4 Fast to collect the news on a topic, and then he thinks about it, okay, and he writes the article out, does the HTML, does the post, and updates the site so that the article appears. All right, so it's possible to do that because I've got an agent in here. Now the difference with the gallery is there's no agent, and we're still doing it. So here the agent makes a post and updates the site so that the post can be seen. But it is fully autonomous. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is make sure that the API is topped up, and there's new machine learning news every day. We cover video generation, image generation, LLM news, TTS news. Now, if you come here every day, it might be a bit samey because sometimes there's no news and he has to write an article every day. But if you come back sort of every couple of days, the news does move fast, and so you will see new news. That's the concept, yeah? So it's a fully autonomous news provider, because it's not, you know what I mean? No one's really writing it. No one's writing it. It's collecting and aggregating from various different sources and then giving a little conclusion, which is perfect for my news show, because when it does, he's going to do the research for the show, see? I won't have to spend all day because this guy will do it for me. And obviously I'll be able to pick out, oh, we've already read that, or we already know this, you know. So it's fine. And if you look at the format that I've got here, if I just zoom in on that, I mean, I think that looks pretty clean. If I really want to get into the article, like, I think that looks pretty clean. So I'm kind of happy with this. Okay, so anyway, what I wanted to do is take this concept of the automatic website and do it with a gallery. So, like, obviously this is just using an LLM to search for today's news, make the article, write it up nice, and then print it in HTML, and then obviously update a script which makes this page public. Okay. The funny thing is, I was calling RSS dead, and this wouldn't work without RSS, so it's kind of ironic, but hey, we're bringing it back. But if I say go back to the gallery, this doesn't have an agent. The difference here is we used the user event of the ComfyUI workflow running as the event. So if you do the ComfyUI workflow, it uploads the image to your gallery, and then your gallery updates, boom. So now it's fully automated, yeah? Because I can use yesterday to, there we go, we got our image back, look, so this workflow is good. So if I go to my workflow library, I've already added her, she's already in here. But if I was to say take Thora spy suit here, and if I wanted to add that to the calendar, I could do a scheduled task. I could do Thora sneaking, not spy suit. And let's say, it doesn't really matter, I'll just say November the 10th at 9 o'clock, and then I'll just add it straight away. 9 o'clock, one time. You can do recurring. The recurring will go up to 3 months. So if you hit daily, it'll do 90, that's 90 days, that's 90, potentially 93 or something. But it's fine, like I say. All you have to do is make sure it's running, right? We're just going to do one time for this one. I'm going to say here, randomize seeds on execution. In the next version, I'm going to make that default, because it'll always make the same picture, won't it? So it's good for testing, or if you want exactly that, but it's not good in other ways. So I've had to add Zenkai image prompt and my other Zenkai nodes to the detection, because my randomizers, they use a seed, and obviously you have to change the seed, otherwise you get the same image and prompt every time. So I'm going to show you what I've done. I've used my Zenkai system with the API nodes to get like randomizer workflows. You'll see what I mean. So I've got to now zoom out to be able to hit the button. I'm going to turn this modal into a 2-column modal later. There will be another version, because I have to like zoom out to get to the button. AI vibe code, guys. If you ever see stuff like that, it was probably vibe coded. So anyway, we've got our thing now, so let's go to the agenda. And then we've got the 9 o'clock sneaking here. So it says seeds randomized, which is good. I'm just going to say execute now. And then if we watch, it'll say task completed for some reason. And then when I should look in the folder, it should be there. There's no way it made it that quick. Oh no, did I just close it? Classic Johnson. I just closed it. Oh well. I think you get the idea. There's a calendar, you put the jobs on, it schedules them, and then when Comfy wakes up, it actually makes the thing, and then you get your image. and you don't get the image in the scheduler, see? It gets automatically uploaded to wherever it's supposed to go, or it's in your, you know what I mean? It's in your Comfy gallery, right? Here. It's just in the Comfy gallery. You see what I mean? So like they'll, you know, if you had it set up to use subfolder saving, that still works, you know. It's just that we're only actually sending the image with the SCP save node up to my server, and the scheduler, it's not supposed to, like, you know, go crazy. It just automates making your stuff. So the images are just in your outputs folder like normal. We're not trying to hijack Comfy and replace it. We're just trying to give you a way that you can say, I'm going to be away for a week. I want to keep running these workflows at these times of day. So that's what it's for. ComfyUI scheduling. I think it works best not with Electron at the moment, if I'm honest. The Electron is kind of like an alpha, so I recommend using the full, you know, the full source code in dev for now. Just because I think I got some bugs. Thank you again for the second coffee there, Mr. Galleon. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining, dude. Let's see. And Corlin says, I get it. It'll be different every time you look at the site. Yeah, that's the idea. It's still got some bugs, like I said, but I've shared all of the code now. So obviously, unless I didn't mention it, yesterday is also released. So you can go ahead and use that too. Come on, mate. Come on, catch up. There we go. Yesterday. So if you want to go ahead and use yesterday, it's right there. Okay. Yo, Dominic. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Only 2 likes? Who's slacking? I can't see the likes. Don't forget to like the video, guys. We appreciate you. So, what else have we done recently? We've got a new radio page, which is kind of fun. Let me show you that real quick. So, boom. Yeah, you'll be able to hear it. So when it plays the music, which should be the music that is playing right now, there might be a slight delay. We have my classic wave propagation demo from back some months back, okay, simplified for audio reaction, right? So any of you guys might remember we did the visualization of wave propagation using something similar to this, sine waves going around a sphere. We've got, obviously, because it's music, we've got low frequency, mid-range and high frequencies separation, okay, and the volume of the tune affects, you know, if you put it up to full blast, you get more amplification on the graph there. And then also we have a caffeination slider, okay, which is for fun, just for fun, guys. So you can go ahead and turn up your caffeination and turn up the tunes. Like I said, you can go for 100% caffeination. There's also some cool stuff about this, actually, which I wanted to just quickly show you, okay? So I love how hiding things in things. So if we stop the tunes, oh, what's this? Have we achieved harmonics? Is this harmonics? And the answer is yes. So actually the audio visualization turned into being a semi-educational tool about harmonics, because check this out. We can literally cycle through until we hit 25 and we reach a harmonic state. And then we can cycle through again. And we can literally look at this and you can grok it, as they say. Look, partial harmonization has been achieved. Yeah? Well, you can see the lines are now dotted because those 2 lines are perfectly in sync. And we can cycle through. And we can find there's another point. Not there, that's close. Wait for it. Oh, it was so close, it's just not quite. Oh, 75 is another interesting one. But obviously 100, another harmonic match, okay? So it's just interesting. And obviously it's just a visualizer, so we're just having fun, guys. But like I said, I had fun with this. The way this was done as well, It was done by dropping my old radio page as an HTML file directly into Claude as just a chat, and then asking him to change things. And if I looked inside the feedback from what was going on there, what he really did, he didn't edit the HTML. He actually started a virtual machine, created a new React with Vite instance, and then he built out the entire thing and then deployed it as a web app again and gave that back to me. And I was like, what? You just did all the Lovable. You just did all of Lovable, all the VS Code job that we do in the Claude chat. So it's like if you ask, you will get. And then so I just kept telling him to change this, change this, change this. And so the reason it can be quite expensive sometimes is because in the background, he's actually installing an entire app and developing it all and then building it for web and then giving you the files. That's what's actually happening, which is insane. Because it means he's doing the full stack in between each chat, which is crazy. But so that's how this was made. Normally I go into VS Code and I do it all myself with plans, but I realized, here, let me see if I can find the chat. I realized that he was just doing all of that in between the chat now. He's probably been doing it the whole time for 4.5. So look, audio reactive sphere visualization. Check this out. So we'll zoom in. We'll get rid of the preview. Right. So here's my original web page, which is the one that was currently up. So that is radio. That's this. So this is the one that comes with the radio station. So it's built on Azuracast. It's free open source radio station. So we built that on the live stream the other day. You do the Azuracast, right? And then you end up with this. Once you've got it all set up, you get like a public radio page, and it looks like this. It has the name of the album, it has the icon, it has the song history. You see what I mean? It's basic, but it looks cool. I've changed the background to one of my images. That's all I've changed, right? And so what I did was I took the source code, literally just view page source, yeah? I've gone view page source, copy pasted it straight in here, and I've said we can use a 2-column layout with compact distribution of elements. We can swap out the large. Wait a minute. Hang on. I've skipped a step. There's another chat. No. Stop jumping around. Okay, we'll start at the beginning. It's probably a good place. Get rid of that. Right. Start at the beginning. So original radio player.html is what I just introduced to you, and then NSL style branding guide. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, so I'll just explain it. We created this thing called Calzone. It's also in the repos. It saves 70% of tokens on the way in. This is a token reduction thing for the way putting data into the model. It uses ASCII safe pseudocode, all right? And it folds the plan. I've done a lot of unfolding to make high fidelity plans. So now I'm doing compression, where I make plans with 260% detail, 70% token reduction. So you fold it and it somehow is more detailed. Okay. So as you can see here, this would be a branding guide for React and any HTML really. So it tells the AI, oh, what should I use? What colors? Oh, what do I do? Yeah, so it tells it that, but it's just written in a new format. Okay, I've got another one that's not, but this was done with that, and yeah, it worked great. So the attached original radio player features my radio player from my radio station, which I host on. Link. Useful context for relative absolute URL links in the HTML. I wish to use NSL branding style guide to recreate the page in NSL, align styles, and new self-contained HTML artifact, right? New self-contained HTML artifact. That seemed to trigger him going off and doing all this. So if we actually look in here, he says, I need to look at the stuff and do the thing. I can see it's a Zeracast powered. I've got the dark purple golden theme. Create the thing, okay? So he goes off and he thinks about what he's going to do. Look, uses external dependencies from static Vite. Look, it's Vue.js based with Zeracast. See where he's going with this? I need to create a new HTML. It doesn't depend on Vue.js. See, the problem with just taking that file that one I showed you before, it's written on Vue and it has a bunch of dependencies. You can't just take it out, right? Well, you probably can if you know what you're doing, but that's exactly the crux of what we're looking at, yeah? So make it functional, integrate it with API. He couldn't, well, yeah, he did actually do that in the end, but yeah. So it makes all the API and everything, blah, blah, blah. I'll implement a compact React component that fetches real-time, yeah? So he's gone React. I'll recreate your player, let me build React. Off he goes. So he builds it, and I think he just immediately says, here it is, okay? And then I think it didn't show anything first time, right? And do you know what the funny thing is? It actually did work, just not in the preview. So what I would say is, whenever you're doing this stuff, I forgot because it had been a while, right? It doesn't work in here because of like cores and all this sort of nonsense. But if you just download it and immediately run it in the browser, it runs fine. So you're like, I'm a goof, right? It's probably just something to do with cross origins. It doesn't like that you're on Claude AI right now. You know what I mean? It should be just a local host or something, right? Anyway, so I went through all of this nonsense and he's viewed the fixed one and blah, blah, blah. I think in the end I was like, yeah, it's fine. I use NSL radio player with data. Okay. So we go over here. That's the one we've got. NSL radio player with data. And that's where I said, now we can go 2-column layout, compact distribution, all the rest. Create the new HTML artifact, right? So he says, architected audio reactive 3JS visualization replacing logo area. Look at this. Sphere on a black background, 3 ribbons, sine waves, correspond to low, mid, high. Just describe what you want, pure intent. I mean, yeah, I did ask for 3JS there because I know kind of what I'm asking for. I've done made it before, so I know what I'm asking for. But it's like there's no code there, you know. It's like I said 3JS because I know that's what he wants. But anyway, he goes through it all. He goes through it all. He goes through it all. He gives me the design, right? And then I'm like, okay. I start doing tweaks because originally there was still a big album art there, so we got rid of that. And then I start adding, like, you know, the caffeination slider, things like that. Okay. And you end up getting to here, which is super cool. I'm happy with that, like I say. All right. And then we gave that away, or gave it away, put the source up. DJZ V3. See, I'm a big fan of just chuck it into another chat and ask it to do something else now, or restyle it and rebrand it, change it to your radio feed, whatever, you know. So that's super nice. So let's take a quick look at the calzone real quick before we move on. So the calzone. Oh, that's my archive. Hang on, I need to show you the actual thing. There it is. So, calzone, 70% reduction in input token, 260% increase in detail depth, 0 fidelity, ASCII safe. So, got annoyed with all the emojis, causing compilation errors in some, not all, some code bases. And because the AI likes to make plans with crazy symbols and things sometimes, which, you know, aren't ASCII safe, and then you can't, anyway. So there was that, and also this came from the idea of folding. That's why it's called calzone, guys. You ask for your pizza and you fold it in half. Okay, and then you can eat twice as much pizza per bite. Okay, so how does it do it? Oh wait, in fact, let's just look at this. I love the overview. Modern AI agents and language models face a critical challenge: context window limitation. When working with large project plans, technical specifications, or complex documentation, you're forced to choose between truncating content, which loses critical details, have it doing multiple interactions, which fragments understanding, that'd be batching, you know, convos, chaining, all that, simplified descriptions, so reducing the precision. Calzone solves this by folding verbose documentation into systematically compressed pseudocode that, preserves every critical detail, actually increases information density, maintains logical relationships and dependencies, and remains human readable and machine parsable. So you can think of it as lossless compression for instructions. So let's just show you what that actually means side by side. Here is an e-commerce checkout system implementation. Phase 1 foundation. We need to build a checkout system that handles cart management, price calculations, and tax computation. The system should support multiple payment methods, including credit card, PayPal, and Apple Pay. The cart should persist across sessions using local storage with a backup to the database when users are logged in. Items in the cart need to show real-time inventory status. And so this is what it looks like with 59% token reduction using Calzone. It'll be checkout system, foundation, cart management, price calculation, tax compute, payment methods, credit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, cart persistence, primary, local storage, backup, DB, user logged in, inventory status, real-time check. Because he knows. He knows. There's a notation system which is defined, but I don't really think it's that important because it's kind of like we're taking advantage of the hallucinations to a point. So it's not, you know, because he knows what this means, right? Anyway. So this is how you would use it. You are Calzone, an expert plan folding agent. Your mission is to compress verbose plans into ultra-compact ASCII-safe pseudocode with zero fatality loss. See the agent.md. Okay. But you can also just drop the whole thing into the start of a conversation. Say that, and then start working. I've had him do code bases, I've had him do plans, I've had him do readmes. That's what it's made for. So it could look at an entire code base and break it down. I haven't tested experimentation of rebuilding it afterwards though. I've done readmes and I've done plans, and it works great for readmes and plans. Anyway. We also released Idleace and Idle Vibe Tycoon. Idleace is waiting for something, I forget. And then this one is waiting for AI integration. So I don't know yet. What else is ready? Yeah. I think that's pretty much the roundup. That's the roundup, I think. Man, let's see what we got. Full dive, cool. Dragon says, when did hallucinations become uncool? I used to pay a lot of money to have hallucinations. Oh, guys. Bernard Martin, when you didn't need to go hunting the shrooms. Well, you know, you could argue that mistakes are creativity, right? If you made a mistake, but it wasn't a bad mistake, what's a good mistake? What's a good mistake? You make a mistake by accident, but it was a good result. Happy accidents. We like happy accidents in the art community. Okay. Where's my ComfyUI? Here it is. Right, that is just a weird workflow. I don't like what the API workflows do to my workflow layouts, guys. It's a little bit disturbing. Don't look. Don't look. I'm sure it'll work fine. There is something here, though, which I am a little bit worried about, which was the LoRa loader. The LoRa loader looks very empty. That's very empty. Which is worrying, because it should have a bunch of LoRas in there, basically. Cyber. It's that one, 77. But shouldn't there be like a flash LoRa in there as well? I'm a little concerned about this. We're going to give it a blast and see what happens. So it uses, wait, what? War-torn and Geiger style? Yeah, we got some issues. We got some confusion. This is supposed to be cyber society. Well, that's not right. Huh? Cuba Society. Cyber SOC 77. Yeah, you'd think that would be right. I got a feeling I got the wrong trigger here. Should get an image. Good mistakes is what Bob Ross does. Wait, Bob Ross? Did you say... Wait, did you say Bob Ross? Ah, Bobo. Ah, yes. Now anyway, like I was saying, guys, somebody said Bobo. Somebody said Bob, so now I've got to talk. Hang on a sec, guys. I'm fixing my workflow. So anyway, guys, you want to make sure you get your paints mixed right. Get those prompts looking good. Anyway, enough of that. We have a bit of fun. Oh, Steve, keep the camera straight. That was pretty skilled. It worked. Okay. So let's have a look at the image. Yeah, see, it's not working. It's missing all of the good stuff. Right, so we're going to have to reconstruct it. I didn't realize this was a thing. It looks like this gets stripped when you save it as an API node. Now, I don't know. We might be able to just reconstruct him. That's a bit of a problem. Right, I found the originals. Okay, I found the originals. See, they're supposed to look like that. That's what the workflow looks like. Oh well. And I mean, I don't blame him for resetting it. You know, it's a bit of a mess. So I need 21. Let's just move this down here so we can get better. So it's gonna need Sharona. No, this there. 21 T2V Light 2X. Yeah, 21. Light. Where is it? That one? Oh, that one. It's the same. Okay, that one goes up. And then we want the Fusion X 2.1 14B. I got two of them as well. Look, spoilt for choice. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh, this one's the Suxel. We need to stop it. It's too late. It's too late. Cue another one. Yeah, so the difference is if I just pull this down and make it bigger. Right, so we have ourselves a 1792 by 1344 image, but oh, this isn't looking good, guys. It's looking like a cartoon. It's looking like a cartoon on VHS. You see, we've got the cauliflower. This was like a big problem with a lot of the AIs, and I think we fixed it with lightning. Because at the moment, this is a 4-step. I think this is 4 steps. So it is going to look a bit weird. Yeah. 4 steps, but the lightning isn't working. You see? That's a problem. I probably should have just led with that. You know, if you don't get the lightning, you don't get the, you can't do 4 steps, can you? Anyway, we'll give it a sec and see what we get. So I've basically just restored, that, and hopefully, yeah. So just to give you a bit of background, if you don't know what this workflow is an API workflow that was saved by ComfyUI. So, you know, it's created an API version of this workflow or something very similar to it. Okay, maybe, yeah. So in this workflow, we load WAN 2.2 T2V A14B low noise Q8. So that's the low noise model in Q8. All right, just that one, along with the same. I've got quantized encoder, 2.1 VAE. All right, and that then I'm loading my Zenkai image prompt, which is data sets. So it's an image and a prompt. Okay, so it's loading the image with a prompt every time. The prompt and the image both go into intern VL 3.5, which is an Olama AI. Okay, so it's running locally on the machine as well. That does prompt enhancement. So if you see, that's the original prompt, and then this is the enhanced prompt. We shove all of that through an image size adjuster, so it makes the image bigger, basically, 1536. And then that goes through WAN video nag with a shift of 1.5, and we make one frame. Okay, we make one frame. That makes a very nice image. And then we put that through the system again with the same prompt, but this time tiled to 3072, which gives us a 1-to-1 over 4K in about 2 or 3 minutes. And obviously it's all fine-tuned LoRa's that you've custom trained yourself and everything else. But we're also feeding our data set through the trained LoRa. So the data set I'm feeding in is what was used to train it. And then by exploiting the prompt enhancer with different styles, mixing different LoRa's, or otherwise doing prompt manipulation, you can get infinite. You just get more. You just get more of your best work. Okay, and again, it comes out at a 1536 by 1536 here. That's just under 3 megapixel, and then you're going to double it to just over 4K. I think it's about 6. I'm not sure exactly. And then we have a comparison here, which is going to do a side-by-side, original versus complete. And then down the bottom, from what we were talking about earlier, we have the save image. No. What LoRa are we working with right now? Sharona, yeah. So obviously I would have this set up for my web server, Sharona. Okay, upload enabled. You see what I mean? It's pretty simple stuff. Pretty simple. I try to make it simple. So anyway, 0.651.4. That's the one thing I didn't do. Oh, yeah, too strong. So this needs to be 0.4. This needs to be I'd say actually 0.8 or 8.5 is fine. So the difference is quite significant once you actually get the LoRa loaded. No more cauliflower, it seems. Yes, no more cauliflower. Okay, and that's not even the finished image. The finished image, that's just the 1536, as I say. Or rather, it's automatic aspect ratio with a maximum of 1536 by 1536 as the 1-to-1 base for that math. So the next image will be this last one here. Obviously it's going to get saved there too. So yeah, the settings were a little bit strong, but it did the thing. Oh my gosh, is it coffee time? Right, I'm going to do classic coffee time, not classic, but Halloween classic, because We need to get a new coffee time, guys. We need to get a new coffee time. Oh, 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 oh. All right, coffee time, ladies and gents. I will disappear and you can enjoy classic Halloween coffee time because I haven't made the new one yet. We should do Christmas coffee time next for fun. That'd be funny. We'll give her a Santa hat or something, you know? All right. Wait. Yeah. He's sandblasting. Okay, if you can hear any background noise tonight, it's the sound of a mechanical Dorito being sandblasted. So just so you know. Hope you're all having a good time, guys. Like I said, we try to take it easy on a Monday. Oh, and we've been very busy of late. Very busy. My goodness. It's sort of like we rebuilt all of the stuff. New radio station, 3 new websites, 3 new mini sites for all the new projects that link to the other major mini site that links to all the repos. New websites for services you can just log in and bring your own API key. Just use it. No login. Just use it. I don't want your money. So, and then just encouraging people to think outside the box. You know, you can actually go ahead and make all of this stuff. If you've got a thing that you pay a lot of money for right now, why not build it yourself? You'd be surprised what you can do. So, you know, kind of crazy. Just gets more accessible all the time. I think persistence is part of it. And as the local models get better, it will be less about money. At the moment, there is a lot of money involved, right? But as the local models get better, you won't necessarily need them, like the big ones. It's like I said before, you don't need a rocket engine to run a shopping trolley, you know, to the door from the car park, right? You don't need a rocket engine. You can just push. And so what I've been finding is that even stuff like Gemma 3, when put into a good agentic pipeline, can actually do good coding work. It can do web development, which is what a lot of people want. Does it make mistakes? Yes. But is it free? Yes. And I think that that's the kicker. And this is the downward pressure which will keep the big boy prices from going too high. Because I think that's the downward pressure, you see. See, if there's no alternative, the prices just go up, 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 up. Right? They'll just creep up, right? But if you have local LLMs which are capable of doing 90% of the job, well, they can't put the premiums up so quick, can they? So I am glad that they exist, but it's like you've got to do, like I said, I've been using Intern VL a lot, which is the sub 4 gigabyte model. When quantized in Q8, I recommend it. All right, that's enough coffee. So how are we doing then? In the end, I prefer my original design. In the end, I prefer my original. We're going to have to check out the... Oh, I know what it is. It's because it's not got the same LoRa mix. Yeah. So in the end, it was 3552 by 2688. Like I said, that's the automatic aspect ratio working for you. Oh my God, where am I? I'm back. So yeah, that's basically the deal. So we fixed it, but when we save this, I bet it won't be an API node anymore and it'll lose that. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Save as API. We're going to call it test LoRa set API. Right? And then drop it in and it's gone. I knew it. So that means that this doesn't work with API. So we're going to have to find a different way. Save that. Wow, it even doesn't save at all. That's crazy. So can't use this. Got to use something else. LoRa. Oh, I wonder now. See, it's like you're gonna have to do a chain. We're gonna have to go old school. So it would be. I hope it remembers it. So Light X and Fusion X and Cyber 945. Okay, this is fun. Whoa. Oi. Okay, and I think this was at 0.4. And this was at 0.85. So it might not work. I'm sure it will, but it might not work. Okay, get rid of that. Put that up there. Okay, so we've just basically changed it out. So we'll run it again and see if that changes. Because, you know, the API nodes need to run the LoRa's. If you can't use the LoRa stack because API doesn't understand the contents of the node, well, got to go back to basics. This is the most basic way I know to add the LoRa. Just chain them individually again, you know? Because the API is a little bit more basic than the main Comfy work, you know, the main Comfy interface. He doesn't do any programmatical stuff. Well, I know he does do the random seed because this does work. Where is it? So my Zenkai image prompt, if you change this seed, it pulls a different image and prompt. So I know it does that much. But there's some stuff it doesn't do, and I'm not quite sure what the rules are. I always assumed it was like, oh, you need to click on it, and you can't click on it, so it doesn't happen. You know, anything that you need to click on, obviously, isn't going to work in an API workflow, right? Because you've got no UI, it's headless now. And I'm thinking that maybe that other power loader, it had a button on it, didn't it, to add the LoRa's to it. And so I'm thinking, like, maybe it doesn't understand what was in there and it can't click, you know. I don't know. I'm sure there are rules, but they're not documented, so you have to kind of like find out. I learned by doing, mate. We should have an image. Should have an image. Yep. Should be another Space Ninja thing. It's very wannish, though. Very wannish. Turns everyone into women. Mind you, let's just be fair, though. It might have been a woman in the first place. I don't want to... Yeah, let's just pull it across and see. I got a feeling like it puts faces on everything. Yeah. See? He was way more samurai, riot police beforehand. But again, this is kind of like, what do you call it? A denoise issue. There'll be a denoise value somewhere. You can turn that down. What do we got? We've got denoise at 0.57 right now. So obviously I could turn that down. Go for like 52 or something. It's still going to do a decent. It's still going to do a decent amount of changes to the image. Because I'm trying to rely on the LoRa stack to do the changes, really. But one thing you can say is it definitely did load the LoRa. That's all. It definitely did load the LoRa. The question is, if I now save this as LoRa chain test API, because I'm not testing whether it. I need to know if when I load this, will it actually have you gotta be joking. Oh wait, no, it's fine. It's fine. It moved them, but they are there. It's fine. It put lightning, then lightning, then the LoRa, then so it's fine. You have to go back to basics, like I say. Core nodes. Okay. It's not like you can't use custom nodes. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, you have to go back to basics with some stuff to get reliable API workflows. So anyway, now we've got... Isn't it funny, though? Because it was working. But was it? It might have just been doing generic image to image with no restyle, see? So that means that what I've got to do is just double check my API nodes and make sure that it didn't cheat. So that's why I've dragged them in after saving them to see. And what I found was, to my shock and horror, the Power LoRa loader isn't compatible with API workflow. So you can't, it's not loading the LoRa. You know, you have to go in and do a chain like old school days. Shouldn't I have an image by now if he's there? Oh yeah. It's the same workflow. Alright. Isn't it interesting how it turns it into like a proper graph automatically? I kind of like it. It's not as easy to read though. Like I find this, you know, you can tell text enhancement here, resizing and prompting here, LoRa stack and models there, stage 1, stage 2, comparison. But I guess everybody does it differently, don't they? So there's no real right or wrong way of doing it. Okay. It's certainly not how I would lay it out, that's for sure. But anyway, so what we've basically come to prove is that this actually is loading correctly. So what I should do is delete the other one. Oh, it sent it to Cyber Society. Of course, I'll have to update the server to make you so you can see it, but if one day you will see this image on the site, probably later. I still prefer the original. That just means I need to turn the denoise down. Yeah, it's all a choice. You want to turn the denoise down? Turn the denoise down. Because it is an initial image to image. This isn't an upscale, but I kind of wanted it to make something new actually. So I'm going to actually go the opposite direction. I'm going to turn it up because I want something new. So let's start at 0.75. So I aim to, in fact, let's go higher. About 82. Yeah. And then I'll resave this one as Cyber Society V2 API. Society. There we go. Boom. And I can add that to my scheduler later. But yeah, quick reminder. Yesterday works best in dev at the moment, but will eventually have a stable Electron. I just need to do more testing. It came out yesterday. All right, today. Okay. It came out today. All right. At the moment, I've already fully tested it working in NPM Dev, but the Electron version has some bugs. So in the process of cooking the Electron version, it seems like some stuff slipped, I guess. I don't know. I'll find out. The thing is, I need this for myself. Like, I need this for so many things. Let me just break it down, okay? Over the next couple of months, there's going to be new video models dropping, which are going to be both fast and high quality. If you have a good GPU, you won't want to be sat there 24 hours a day. You'll have workflows which you'll want to run, but you won't want to just sit there all day and all night. Maybe you will, but my point is, if you don't, you'll be able to schedule those workflows all night. And this is a little bit more complicated than just a queue system, which might fail when you have a problem, or, you know, as long as your computer is switched on, you can happily schedule 3 months into the future, which I think is enough. I think, you know, you could do more than that, but it's just like, why, you know? Just take the source code and change the limit if you want more than 3 months. All I'm saying is, like, 3 months of scheduling, especially when we start talking about video, that's going to be super powerful, you know, because it's basically having a video content factory. We've already got lots of workflows that can do like orchestration of certain projects, and you add in the idea of scheduling the content so you don't have to wait for it. You know, that's the whole idea of yesterday. You schedule what you need today, so that when tomorrow comes, you made it yesterday. That's the whole kind of motto and behind the concept. You know, I know it's like, oh, it's a scheduling app. Yeah, I know. But you want to think about it like, for example, say you need a thumbnail every day, right? Maybe you could schedule a workflow to run a thumbnail half an hour before you upload your video every day. This sort of stuff. This is the sort of stuff I'm planning to use it for, you know? And obviously, if you have in the workflow, like I say, an upload node, then that workflow is actually the day content for the gallery. So, and there's more stuff. There's more stuff. So what I'm trying to do is basically give like tools that sit above Comfy and allow you to use it in ways which you can't just inside Comfy. So the first one was Flow Runner, that chains API nodes together, and then the second one is Yesterday, which is giving you a scheduler, so long term, you know. Now, you could probably combine them, but I'm not here to do that. What I would hope to see is that if the features were popular, that they would even maybe get adopted, so brought in vanilla, but I don't know what they have time to do or what they're interested in. Subgraphs are a really cool thing, but what if ComfyUI was a subgraph? That's the question I'm putting, yeah? Because it's had API features since day one, but hardly anyone in the casual community is using it. So it's like it's possible to make apps now which can talk to your ComfyUI. So you can be at home generating images on a tablet on your Wi-Fi if you want. It's a question of a choice, whether you want that interface or not. If you don't, maybe it's not for you. But it's just like I said, you have this machine that can create all of this content. If you had the ability to schedule it, in advance, you're not waiting, are you? So you can eliminate wait times by ordering it in advance. It's like you can go to the pizza shop and you can order the pizza and wait for it, or you can call ahead and it's ready when you get there. This is what we're doing with yesterday. That's all. It's ready when you get there, guys. Now, I'll admit that at the moment, you need to have built your own workflow, API and all this, and yeah, you have to kind of do it. But I would say in the future, it'll get easier. So, we need a port in the back of our heads to connect to Comfy. Well, hey, listen, in a way, that's what a lot of these tools are. There's a port in the back of your head. So, lovely way of putting it. But anyway, so that is ComfyUI yesterday, and it works with DJZ Gallery, which is also open source, and my latest node offering, which is the SCP nodes for secure copy inside any workflow. Qualenverse says, yesterday app gives me an idea to set up a Discord bot to schedule gens from your phone. You could do it. The only thing I think would be a little bit nicer is, at the moment, I've said you've got to make the workflows be like completely self-contained. You see what I mean? So this doesn't need anything. You just tell it to run, and it runs, right? Traditionally, when people do API requests, they want to change the prompt. But here's the kicker. So whenever you have a workflow like this, there is something called a clip text encode positive prompt. And you can say, look for this and change it. So obviously I wouldn't have anything hooked into it, right? I'd have a different workflow that doesn't have anything attached here, okay? And then whatever this is, right, is going to basically be able to be swapped. I don't know if you noticed, but when I saved it, you could see that this was exposed for editing. Okay, so if I had made a workflow, in fact, you know what, I'll just do it now. Let's just do it now. What the hell did I just click on? I just clicked on focus mode by accident. View? What the heck? I've never seen that before. Anyway, F. Oh my god, is that what makes it disappear? F makes it disappear. F makes it disappear. Been using it for 2 years. Just figured that out. I've been paying attention, all right. So yeah, let's go to templates. Let's just get a standard template. Okay, so here's a standard template, right? If we go ahead and save this as export API, right? Default. Right. If I then go to the stupid app that's not running, where's the other one? Damn it. I mean, what are you doing? Like, I haven't clicked on anything yet. So do we reckon it's working again? What is this? Close that. History restored. I don't care about history restored. Give me a terminal. What's it doing? Initializing, it says. Alright, well, while it's initializing, I guess I'll drink my coffee. VS Code's being weird. There we go, he's still initializing. So I guess I'm in business. So can I do NBM run dev? I wonder if it'll crash. I've been working on it, see? I've been breaking it. Oh, what the heck did we just click on? There, right. So we've got 551 pending tasks. This one's been switched off, by the way. So if I take a look at the calendar, go to agenda, you can see we've got one coming up in half an hour on Empire 1. It's got seeds randomized. Okay. But like I was saying, if I go to test workflow and pick that default API, it won't work. Yeah, we need to do it somewhere else. I need to actually add it proper. So this one won't work, okay? This workflow doesn't work. I don't have the 1.5 model with the same name that it wants, okay? So default API, we'll say T2I, image. Okay. I just wanted to show you what happens. So if I then go into the calendar, and because it's an example of a workflow which doesn't use my randomization, it's just got a normal negative and positive prompt input, yeah? Clip text encode is what it uses. So if I go to here and then I go and find that default API, if I scroll out, because again, I need to make this, you see this? For some reason, it's a single column layout, which is twice the size of the app. So I'm going to turn it into the schedule workflow execution will be a 2-column menu in the next update. But like I said, if I go down to the bottom, you can see there's your positive prompt right there. So what I'm saying is the workflows that I've been showing that I'm using, they have prompt automation. So I don't actually need to enter in a custom prompt. But if you save an API node that just has a normal prompt input, you know, like a default prompt input, it's exposed here. So then you can use that workflow with a new prompt as many times as you want. Just randomize the seed and enter the prompt. And then once you've scheduled it, off you go. So I just wanted to show, you know, it's easy to run it like that. So, you know, you can have scheduling, right? But then you can have the scheduling use a different prompt than what's in that API. So that's the whole concept, you know. That's the whole reason that Comfy is so crazy, is because you can build apps off the back of the ComfyUI API, right? And you can just make any workflows you want, schedule them for a particular time of day. So you do like a D&D campaign every week and you need artwork for the campaign. You can have it spend every day. It could be doing a different task, and then by the time you get to Sunday, it's done. You have that be a weekly task, you know, and then come game night, you've got all of the stuff and it's all new every week, which is insane. There's so many different applications for this kind of thing, because it works while you're sleeping. It works while you're watching a movie. You know, we've all used queues, so we know the power of queues. This is the ability to orchestrate many, many queues over a long period of time. So yeah, anyway, calendar scheduler works with your ComfyUI, 100% free. Obviously, you have to pay for your electric and your graphics card, but nobody can escape that. Or can they? What else? Oh yeah, if you found that you completely messed up, just delete the data. There's a delete data button. Don't waste your time trying to delete 1,000 entries. Just delete it and make them again. What else? Obviously, you can delete the workflows from in here. I'm quite happy with how this project turned out. I would also say that the gallery is the first one to use the calzone planning technique, so that's interesting too. But yeah, as you can see, what's the next one? Empire WAN. Let's just do it now. Do it now. Images, Cyber Society, Prompt Execute. Yeah, just to give you some insight into why it wouldn't be working, by the way, because it's an interesting thing, which is why it doesn't update. If we go into the deployment section, there is some documentation that gives you a rough idea of what you're supposed to be doing here, like how you set up your website, where you put the files, what you use for the category names, how you can add more, all this sort of thing. Here I put it in the readme. Yeah, initial data generation, yeah. Automated updates Windows. So if you have Windows, it's even a different way of doing it entirely, okay? But this is what you run on the server. The issue is, you don't, because this is something in like a nuance, if you could say. If I told you, okay, upload all your images and run those scripts, you'll be like, cool, and you'll run those scripts and it won't work. And you'll be like, well, you told me to run those scripts. And I'll say, show me the logs. And the logs will say that it found a bunch of images and rewrote all of the files. But it still won't work. And you'll say to me, but Johnson, why doesn't it work? You said that the logs say it works. It's permissions, guys. There's a whole other dimension to web administration that goes beyond just running the code, right? Oh, the code runs, cool. Did you set your permissions right? So what I would say is, you would take the instructions and ask Claude, give me a detailed tutorial with step-by-step how to run these scripts with the proper web permissions commands, because you have to do you have to have a special user, you have to have a www-data group, you have to have chmod, you have to do chown, and you've got to put your user in the group for www. This is all web design stuff. This is all web hosting stuff, and the AI will tell you about it. But as you can see in this plan behind me here, these steps here, they're quite basic. You see what I mean? Yeah. Permissions can do that. That's unfair. Yeah. So, like, you know, because you can have it so that you know, you've got your script and everything, the whole website's there, but it doesn't work. And the reason is because it doesn't even have execute, or it doesn't have public view, right? So no one can read it. They're not allowed. So I think that, you know, there is something to be said about that. I'm going to add some more documentation to this website, because I don't like being vague like this. I like you being able to follow the prompts, follow the information, and you know, not have to worry about that. Look, it just says run processing scripts. There's another thing as well. Okay, so let's say you've set up all of that stuff that I just mentioned, yeah? There's more. You have to run the script from a specific folder. Yeah, you have to run the script from a specific folder or it won't run. That's the other thing. And then the cron job, the issue I'm having right now is the cron jobs for my main server user work, but the cron jobs for the www-data group don't. But what's interesting though is he does activate the virtual environment and then do the thing. You see what I mean? He activates the virtual environment and then he does the thing, which is, you know, it's useful when you think about it, because obviously I don't have a GPU on my server, but there's a hell of a lot of stuff we can do without a GPU, knowing that you can have little virtual environments that are piping into your websites and web services. I mean, I know it's obvious, but we do a lot of tricky stuff with AI, right? So you just put the agent directly in there, which is essentially what we've been doing. Do we go our workflow to finish or finito? Yeah, that looks way better. Still making a load of people, but I wanted something different. So how different was it? Oh, it was super different. Now that's more like it. This has been color corrected, by the way. So, you know, if we put this through a color correction node quick to make it a bit darker and moodier, you know, that might help. Because I did do a bunch of color correction stuff with LUTs. Back when this was created, they all went through LUTs. So this is like flat grade, I guess. Oh, disconnected. Say it ain't so. It crashed. Well, no more scheduling for you. See, that's the next thing I was thinking about, right? At the moment, you have ComfyUI, but it doesn't restart itself. You know, ComfyUI dies, like, you know, the red box. You get the red box, see at the top here? You get the red box reconnecting, and you're like, wait, what happened? Let's see, Dragon says, I prefer to ask forgiveness rather than permission. Some say it's easier to obtain. But yeah, so I'll have to restart. While I'm doing it, I get to show you my cool restart script, which is like, you know, you should know. I mentioned it already, but it's worth going over. So if I take a look at my API command, it says this bit has been added in. Okay, that's all. Listen 0.0.0.0 -- enable -- calls -- header for the cross origins, and then localhost 3000. All right, now it's in the README. It's in the README. All right, but you just add that onto the end of your normal batch startup script for Windows, and that's how you get it to talk to this thing. So anyway, like I was saying, the next piece of the puzzle is some kind of ComfyUI monitor, right? A monitor, keep it alive. Yeah. So if it disconnects like it just did, you know, maybe tail the log, maybe have a script tailing the log, and if it sees ComfyUI disconnected or any of those sorts of errors, I mean, to be honest, it could be as simple as sending the header for an API request to see if it's alive, and if it's not, it restarts it. It'll do like a process ID kill and then start Comfy again. So basically to keep it alive, because here's the thing. Okay, you've got your cool scheduler system, right? Well, what if the 3 o'clock job crashes Comfy? Now all the jobs until you wake up are going to fail because, you know, human needs to kick the box. So normally with an online server, what you would do is you would have a monitor, and if the server goes down, you restart it. Sounds obvious, right? So what I reckon is some kind of tool for local Windows that basically does that. So then if you schedule a bunch of stuff to work overnight, if Comfy crashed, he starts himself back up again. Listen, if somebody already knows about a feature that's native to Comfy that gives you crash recovery or auto recovery or auto restart or anything like that, come by the Discord later and tell me all about it, because I would love to save myself the juice. But to be honest, should we do a cursory search? Let's do a cursory search. I'll say, does ComfyUI have crash protection or automatic? It should have automatic restarts, but it doesn't. What'll happen is I'll build them, and then somehow it'll be a thing that they've been working on for months, and it'll appear. That's what'll happen. Oh yeah. Because that's what it must be. It must be like, you know, when we go ahead and build the thing, could you not just have Comfy boot and close per scheduled task? You could, but it seems unnecessary to take it offline. There's a snapshot feature. Does that work for Windows desktops though? It sounds like a Linux thing. Tell me more, Zeus. And welcome. Yeah, but old news is old news. Old news is old news. If there's a snapshot feature, if there's a way to hot load it, hot reload it, but so, you know, because that could be part of the system, you know, it'd be much more efficient to detect a crash and do a hot reload to bring it back online than do a full cold start. You're on Linux, yeah, it does sound like a Linux feature. ComfyUI does not automatically restart, and users frequently lose their entire queue. And this is why if you have a scheduling app running your queue, you don't lose the queue because the queue's external. But if Comfy goes offline, the queue can't execute, so you're back to the same problem. So that means in order for me to have true calendar persistence, I need to also be managing Comfy restart. I didn't try Comfy on Windows since, and I'm in jail. Well, fair. Fair. So, queue persistence issues. So, available features, we've got a manual restart, crash reporting. Yeah, of course it doesn't. Browser autosave, no. Common crash, out of memory. See, this is like very common for us. So it means, you know, there's a demand for a crash recovery tool. Look, you'll need, yeah, there isn't one. Okay, so next plan, crash protection. So in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to come up with an idea for a crash protection system. Lol. Okay. That's all that means. Because the thing is, my scheduling tool is useless if Comfy crashes. So you need to have something else as well to keep Comfy up and online. It doesn't need to be part of yesterday. It can be its own separate thing. Ideally, you want it to be natively part of ComfyUI. You know what I mean? But I'll settle for making a wrapper or some kind of like script. You know, I'll settle for a script. Could probably do it with a batch file. You could probably do it with a batch file. It sounds like simple, but you could probably do it with a batch file. It's a question of if we can get an exit code. Okay, hang on a sec. All right. There's a health endpoint. But there's only yeah, okay. So this wouldn't work for all Comfy desktops because you don't necessarily be using it in API mode, but we will be, so it will work for us. So I'll say, can we simply poll the API health endpoint to check it is online, and when it is not, start a sequence of process, detection and kill tasks to ensure any zombie process is not hanging. Then, once we are sure ComfyUI is not running, so we make sure, like I've detected that Comfy's not running. Now I'll make sure it's not running. Now I'll start it. Restart the ComfyUI UI using the user-defined path to a batch file or bash script on Linux. I'll get him to give it me in sh and bat, and then we'll be shebanging hard. There it is. Oh, crash recovery. Oh, Salad Technologies ComfyUI API. Add dedicated health and ready. Oh. System stats, queue stats, WebSockets. Well, we don't need to use the health endpoint if it doesn't have one. We can just use any endpoint. Because the way I see it, oh my, nope. Right, because the way I see it, yeah, if the API is up, it will respond. If the Comfy has crashed, it won't. So we're just looking for a binary detection here. I couldn't give a crap what the actual return is. The way I see it is, if it's down, you won't get one. So we're really looking for the exit code, not the data. Okay. So we are really checking the exit code for any endpoint. Any endpoint. We do not care what the response is. So long as it does respond. Okay, so it'll be one, check for endpoint signs of life. Any response. Two, if exit code. No response. If exit code, start. Kill, search, and destroy ComfyUI processor. 3, restart ComfyUI processor using defined.bat script. Oh gosh. Go again. I just thought this could be even simpler, you know, because you should just get on Linux, you just get an exit code. I can't remember what they call it on Windows. So, simple monitoring script, ComfyUI Watchdog. Nice, that's catchy. ComfyUI Watchdog, it's written in Python. Restart script on Windows. Restart ComfyUI Linux. Restart ComfyUI Set up your restart script with correct path to Comfy. Make it executable. Run the watchdog. Any response, keep alive. Doesn't care. No response, dead. Kill it. I like it. He's just there with an axe hanging over Comfy's head like, you better not error code right now. Don't make me do it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. So minimal version, no dependencies. Oh. No dependencies. What were the dependencies? They can't have been that bad. Come on, man. What are you talking about? Time? Anyway, whatever, man. What? So he's going to do it. Seems like a bit of a flex to come out and be like, oh, actually, I can do it with like... Yeah. Responds, doesn't respond. Yeah. Now, can we think of an edge case that might cause that to be a problem? Zeus is saying, I had a weird behavior where Comfy would stop using multi-CPU cores once it crashed and you had to kill the server. Wow, that's weird. So that's like a zombie, almost. It's still alive, but it's you know what I mean? It's not responding to you, but it responds like it's still alive. I hate those. Those are the worst crashes, dude. Because like I said, this kind of system wouldn't be able to necessarily pick it up because he'd be like, well, he might be like, oh, it's running, but he can't tell if it's crashed. This is why I like the API, because if it's crashed, it won't process, will it? It'll just hang, time out, even respond with an error code. And that's what I need to check, because my theory is that when it's offline, you don't get a response. When it's online, you know what I mean? Yeah. You get a response. Works on everything, just runs your bat, only needs requests and PS util. If you want even simpler, I wonder how much easier we can make that. Hang on a sec. How often does it check? Because there's a loop running. Okay, hang on a sec. We need to eliminate the loop. Consider vectorization. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Because I don't like the loops. Yeah. Loop bad. Loop bad. Make loop to do crash recovery. Cause memory leak crash. Oh my god, my crash recovery tool crashed the server. Yeah. So maybe we should do it with a vectorized event instead. Vectorized or event driven. That can't be a real thing. That can't be a real thing. What? That can't be what it really stands for. Get out of here. Come on, he's got to be making that up. He's not making it up. What's going on? What have I just... Are we near the end of the show? We are, aren't we? We're near the end of the show. The telomeres are starting to fritter away at the edges, it seems. This always happens 10 minutes before the end of the show. It starts on giving me weird stuff, like the Windows non-sucking service manager. Anybody? I mean, I don't believe him. But it's just funny that this is a thing. All right, anyway. So we have to install the non-sucking service manager. Nice. Yeah. We're bringing it back, guys. The masterclass. We're bringing it back. So the cron task scheduler, yeah. And then for Windows. And then for async vectorized multi-instance monitor. What? I wonder why it's doing 8189. What's that about? Is he going to tell me what that's about? No explanation. Event driven. Okay, so we've got event driven and we've got vectorized async, and we've got event driven process monitoring. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to test them, find out which one works best, and then that will be my ComfyUI watchdog, which I'll end up releasing. One-shot monitor, cron compatible. Wow, I think this will actually become its own. I'm going to turn this into a repo because there's a lot of good information here. And this is the thing, I don't care if you use my app, because the documentation is supposed to show you that you can make one like you want it. You know, it's not about me getting you to use my app necessarily. It's about showing you that the app works, was built with a plan. Here's the template for the plan. Run your own plan. Now it's your app. Yeah, it might have some unique feature that you've come up with that I didn't add. That's the whole point of the open community research. Yeah, you get to start from where I started rather than scratch. So I'll give you the best example of that right now. At the moment, I've got a repo which a lot of people didn't notice, which is FlowRunner Basic. Now, this yesterday tool, which I've been showing you for scheduling, it started off, if you imagine, there's no menu here. It was just a page that said test workflow, upload. That's all it said. And it was connected to the ComfyUI instance. So as long as you started ComfyUI locally and you had, put in that API parameter switch I explained earlier, as long as you have ComfyUI in local mode, and you ran that app, and it was literally npm install, npm dev, and you have the app with the upload button. You can put the JSON in. If it's compatible with your Comfy, it will run. So then, I've given you like a starting block, like a template, where you can literally start from having an app that already does the thing. You know, you put your workflow, it makes the image comes back. It does that, right? So if you wanted to make your own local app that's got that kind of functionality, if you wanted to, you can do it like this, you see. I'm just trying to show people that it's like, you don't have to go API, because a lot of my apps, they're all API, open router, you know, you've got to put your key in and pay for everything. But the reality is, if you have a local Comfy, you can actually develop the exact same app, but it just connects to your box, and it's free now, right? So this is something I'm starting to kind of come back around to as we do more Comfy stuff over the next couple of days. So, like I said, the big thing tonight was the ComfyUI scheduling. Hey, yeah, this machine definitely restarted, because it's supposed to have FL Studio open for the last 5 minutes. Damn it. Hopefully it saved my spot. Nope. Bruh. It didn't save it. What? Didn't save it. What? It's gone back to a weird folder. What? Huh? What? Huh? We're getting there. I'm recovering. Lazy master, go. Is it going to be where I left it? I'll be lucky. Oh boy. Track 8. All right. Excuse me. What's that? Ah, we need to turn the radio off. That's the radio, baby. Turn that off. And then track 8. Time to learn. Time to learn the next song. AI mastering. We did a demo on this not so long ago. Sorry about the doubling of the music, guys. I'll turn it down. I realise the radio's playing right now to you guys, so it's a bit of a nightmare, but it's mostly just CPU bottlenecking when the AI is analysing the tune. Mostly. These plugins come from Ozone, or is it, what's the name of them? I think it's Ozone. I forget. But this would be Ozone 11, Neutron 5. And I find it's as good as the $100 service. When you do music, you often will be asked to do mastering with Dolby or something. When you go to upload, they'll say, hey, do you want us to master your album? And some of them are actually really good, but they're all too expensive. Okay, I refuse. I refuse to pay that kind of money. They want to pay you. They want you to pay £10 per track. £10 per track, and we can do it in FL Studio for free. The mastering plugins have been given away many times and will likely be given away again many times. There is like a cheap version that is, I think, $20 or $40. There are old versions floating around on the internet which are questionably free, and then there are also licensed versions with the full features thing. It's like £200-300, right, for the full suite. But I find if you're making AI tunes, you don't need all of that. You probably just need the cheap one. And it does make a huge difference to the audio quality, you know. And I see if the industry does it, why shouldn't I? So pretty much. So yeah, I'll make one tune to show you. Oh my god. But yeah, basically Udio collapsed in a way. Shame. It was a great platform, you know, enjoyed it. Was definitely an Udio enjoyer. But the thing is, it was too good. We all knew it was too good. Yeah? When things are that good, It was illegal, wasn't it? Probably. So yeah, it turns out UMG bought them and you can't download anymore. I got all my work out of there before the cut-off time anyway, just out of coincidence, just coincidentally. I think I had like 2 albums left, which I got out on the cut-off date. And I basically probably won't use them now. The way I see it is I predict that the people behind Udio and UMG are going to release a paid platform next year which will have all the same features and it will cost more. That's all. The price is going to go up. Yeah, it'll be the same thing, but there'll be a legal license now from UMG and it will cost more because obviously UMG will be taking a cut. So look, it was always too cheap, guys. If you actually looked at the prices, it was like 10 times cheaper than Suno to do Udio from my recollection. It was like 4 credits and they'd give you thousands of credits. It was ridiculous. So what I decided to do is probably go on to Suno and have a bit of a play around with that tonight, which will be fun. Be a little bit of a break from the norm because we're doing so much coding, but I'm finishing off the final websites now. So anyway, we won't muck about with this again. ComfyUI yesterday. Done yesterday. So that's the end of the show, guys. That's the show. So I guess I better stand up and say goodbye. Oh wait, don't do that. It'll sketch out. Yeah, it'll sketch out. Alright, so we are going to do a clean exit, maybe. Let's find out. Oh, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back on Wednesday at 8 p.m. So I will look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching. See you next time.